All right. Welcome, everybody. Welcome again. And just going to show you a couple of things. How do you like the new set? You know, a little different, right? A couple of changes, and we haven't changed the beginnings and things like that. Try and get the old with the new and make everybody happy. But I think it's going to work out. I got a special guest today, and it'll all coincide with the new setting too. Ladies and gentlemen, the Tokens are going to be here today. Jay Siegel's Tokens. That's 30 some odd years I've been asking them. We've had everybody. We had George Washington to this show, you know, but we couldn't get Jay Siegel out of his town. But he's here today, and we got him handcuffed in the back, so until we can bring him out. But I just want to thank you guys, because every show that we've ever done, rain, snow, sleet, you've always been there. Really been loyal, not fans. You've been loyal friends. I want to thank you personally right now too. So thank you all. We got a couple of things that we always like to do. One of them is basically to ask anybody out there in the audience too. We're going to be asking you if in fact you went anywhere, if you've done anything. And we got the pet peeve. Somebody brought it up to me about 2 weeks ago. They said, "We love your show," and nobody from New York area. It was on Facebook, and they were from somewhere in the Midwest. Now that we're streaming and we do the show all over the world, they said the one segment we like is the pet peeves. And I only did that, I think, 2 or 3 times. I got to start looking for more peeves. I said the same peeve twice already. So I'm sure I got other peeves. I don't know what the hell I can say, but I do have other pet peeves. We touched on once about guys wearing no socks with a suit. We talked about sneakers with a suit. When people wear sneakers still drives me nuts. But that's beyond a pet peeve. When I see guys wearing sneakers with a suit, especially the biggest fools are the weathermen. They do this all the time. You know, what are they expecting? Rain or something? Maybe they want to tell us what's going on. But I can't stand that. You know, there's some beautiful stores out there where you can buy some nice shoes. You want to buy a nice suit? Buy some shoes. You know, why buy spaghetti without having the meatballs? You know, it just boggles my mind. We touched on the cameras, Staten Island with all the traffic cameras. Everywhere you go, there's a camera. You know, now you got people driving the car. They're waving and smiling. These people want to sign autographs now. They're on the camera so much. You know, so those are the peeves that I touched on, and traffic on Staten Island. Now that we're over the world, it doesn't make any sense to just have my peeves for Staten Island pet peeves. I'm sure there's others out there. And, I'm on Facebook too. You can go on Facebook, and if you have anything that you'd like to hear, or maybe a group that you would like to see, if they're local, I can't be bringing in groups from Elephant's Breath, Montana, or something like that, you know. But the thing is that if you have somebody that you think you would like to see, I'd like to reach out to them. And we also may be able to do some kind of podcasting too. Like I had Frankie Avalon a couple of months ago. We had him, on the screen while we were here. So that's another possibility. I had talked about doing another show, and I really wanted to do it, a show called Talk to Me, and I would have been able to reach everybody. I could have got people from London, recording artists from London. I could have got them from all over the world to actually be in our studio. So that still may be a possibility. I'm trying to do a lot of things. I guess at this age, I'm starting to hear footsteps, So at this point, I'm trying to squeeze everything in these last few years of my life, So it's getting to be rough. I want to do a documentary. I'm trying to amass as many DVDs and tapes that I have over the 30 some odd years we've been doing the show. We had Tiny Tim, we had Johnny Maestro, we had, unfortunately, Lou Christie just passed away. Lou did the show 3 times. Like I said, everybody but Jay Siegel and the Tokens we've had. So he can't say that anymore now, So we'll take this segment when he does it, and we'll put it in that. But I want to do a documentary on the history of Let the Good Times Roll, which actually started when I first put the first show together, which was Island Hop. So I'm going to try and meld both of those 2 things together and see if we can come up with something. I think it would be interesting. We'll see we'll see people that were, in the heyday, when they were really at the peak, and it'll be interesting to do that. And a little of the talking, which we're going to do later. We'll bring the tokens up here and we'll sit down and we'll talk to the guys and find out a little about their history too. So those things, like a lot of people, they like that, and I've incorporated that in the live concerts now. I set up a song, but I give a little bit of trivia with each song, and people love that part of the show. They like that little bit of information, and then the singing and a little joking and whatever we can squeeze into that concert. But everybody, we come off the show. This is the, I guess it's a left-handed compliment. We come off the show every time and somebody comes up to me, "You are the funniest guy we ever saw." How about the singing? I mean, anybody? There's one person come up and say, "I like the way you sing." No, I like the way I tell jokes. So I guess somebody said the other day, "You should be a stand-up comedian." I want to be a lay-down comedian. I don't stand anymore. So it's like a comedian one time. He said he went to the gym. He says, they asked me to do 20 push-ups. He said, "I don't do push-ups." He said, "I'm too old. I'm too heavy. I put downs. I don't do any more push-ups. I do downs. I lay down. I sit down. So that was a pretty funny line. I mean, I got to think of who said that. Or I may not want to. I might just use it and to let everybody think I did it. We got that segment that we're going to do now. If you saw any shows recently, we have a microphone set up over here.
The first thing I have to say, Vito, congratulations. Last Tuesday, you were honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award, and it was fabulous, and it was a wonderful event, and I'm so happy for you. And in August, Richie Santa and John Scupoletti are going to be in Z2. On August 9th, and that's a prefix dinner, and that's going to be a great show. They were there once before, and we had a really great turnout, and hoping that everybody's going to come again. And the next thing is my Tunnel to Towers event, which hopefully you're going to be able to be there, and that's September 20th. And the performers right now, Vinnie Polamini is going to be doing emceeing. You're going to be speaking, hopefully. I have somebody from Tunnel to Towers, Jack, and your friend Jack is going to be there.
On July 3rd, I'm going to be at the Hook and Reel seafood restaurant. I'm getting paid in Scungil. That's 687 West Edgar Road in Linden, New Jersey. Reservations, call 908-357-2952, 6 p.m. start.
Now, did you say you were with a real hooker? What'd you say?
Yeah, I was with a real hooker. Oh, Jesus. July 12th, spaghetti dinner with me at St. Peter and Paul Church Hall. 7:30 show. Call Phil for tickets. It's in South River, New Jersey. 908-331-1297. August 16th at 8 p.m. I'm at the Cape May Convention Hall, 714 Beach Avenue, Cape May, New Jersey, 609-884-9565. And I have one more show. On September 26th, I'll be at Max's Esca here on Staten Island, 1559 Richmond Road. I'll be there with Tommy Lynn, Neil Diamond, Anthony Duke Claus, Barry Manilow, and myself. $25. The tickets are $25. You can get that at maxesesca.com. But after you purchase the tickets, you have to call 718-908-5006 for reservations.
Okay.
And that's it.
Beautiful. Thank you. Okay. What do we got, Al? Okay. There we go.
All right. I'm just going to announce two shows that I'm going to be doing. November 7th, I'm doing a little disco show at the Vogel in Red Bank. It's with the discotheques. It's going to be all disco night, like 4 hours of disco music. And if you're a disco maniac, come on out. It'll be good. Then I have a show on November 22nd at the Patchogue Theater. Leave now so you can get there on time. Because forget it, you'll never get there on time. But anyway, on the show we have Vinny Badugno, we have Stan Ziskas, Del Satins, Larry Chances Earl. We're doing a special video tribute to Larry, and the Happenings and the Duprees. and that's on November 22nd on a Saturday night at Patchwork Theater. It's selling pretty good, so I think we're going to have a good show there.
Good,
So,
good.
and that's it.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
And you're working on another show too, from what I understand. Yeah. You're working on the PNC Arts Center. Yeah. Anybody else? We got anybody? I love this crowd. Do you ever leave the house? I mean, it's, nobody else. I know some of you are at different shows. You're just too bashful to talk. All right. Anyway, you touched on a subject that I should have mentioned, unfortunately. I did receive that award. It was the Entertainment Achievement Award. I was the first recipient of that award. And they told me, and I guess right before it, that the award's going to be an annual award. It's going to be called the Vito Picone Award, the Vito Picone Entertainment Achievement Award. Yeah, very humbling. It's amazing. It took me, it just knocked me out. You know, I guess now at this point you're going to have the Tony, the Emmy, and the Vito. You know, so that's great. That's a legacy. That's going to be around long before I am. You know, and long after me, I should say. So, you know, my kids, my grandkids. I'm very honored with that. You know, and you mentioned Esca's, Max's Esca. You know, Rich, that started during the COVID. It's a restaurant on Richmond Road, right at Four Corners Road, right on the corner, or give or take one or two stores. But the gentleman that owns it, he actually put a tent outside, and the tent was like a few people did that with their restaurants. They put a tent out there. But what happened was this guy was drawing so many people that he took the whole parking lot and he put a tent in the parking lot. That tent holds 250 to 300 people if you want it, put them in there. And he not only did it as a tent, it's completely paneled. There's beautiful paneling all around the whole place. They built a floor, a wooden floor, so that you're not on the concrete. There's chandeliers in this place. I would probably bet that when you walk in that door blindfolded, you would not know that you would think you're in a catering hall. He did a tremendous job with that. Now we're going to be there in I don't know when the hell I'm there, but I'll be there. When? October? October. October what?
I think it's second.
Second. Okay, all right, that's another double. I hate that. Yeah, I'm going to be there on a second. The third, we're in Roslyn. Anyway, I'm too old for back-to-back jobs. You know, I got Eisenhower Park coming up, and then we're in Hamilton, New Jersey. There's another 3 hours. 3 hours that way, 3 hours the next day. That's kind of rough, but it's the blueberry capital of the world, Hamilton, New Jersey. So I get paid in blueberries. That's not a bad thing, right? Matter of fact, Maria Roldan will be opening for us on that particular show, and Maria was with Lou Christie, one of Lou Christie's backup singers, for about 10 years. She's now with a friend of mine's disco show called the Discotheques. And anyway, we thank God we're still active. I'm booking things for next year, which I hate to book things that far in advance. At this age, you know, I don't even buy green bananas. You know, who knows? I might not be around when they're ripe. You know, yeah. But anyway, let's get to the real crux of this evening. I don't want to keep talking. I've got some good friends of mine coming up, and I really want to. I can't wait because I want to ask them some questions and things that I basically know about them, but I want to bring it up to let you know these little tidbits of information. You're going to be shocked when you hear some of the stuff that they've done, and especially Jay, been around a long time. He's one of my closest friends in the business, even in and out of the business. So anyway, ladies and gentlemen, in a few seconds we'll bring them out, and we'll bring the tokens out here with Jay Siegel's tokens. Okay? So let's do that now, and thank you so much, everybody.
Hello, everybody. This was our first #1 record that we wrote and we produced, and this one is called Tonight I Fell in Love. So I hope you clap along with us if you like. You know, it makes us feel good. 1, 2, 3, 4. Down to be down, whoa. know, tonight I fell in love. Tonight I give my heart away. True love is here to stay. Yes, tonight I fell in love. Oh, I wonder this magic spell I'm under, this feeling that I feel. Is it really real? My heart beats so fast. I pray that it will last till the end of time. Dum dooby dum whoa, dooby dooby dum dooby dum whoa, dooby dooby dum whoa. Tonight I fell in love. Tonight will make it last forever, forever and ever. Yes, tonight I fell in love. 'Cause tonight I fell in love. Yes, tonight I fell in love. Dooby dooby dum dooby dum whoa. Dooby dooby dum dooby dum whoa. Tonight I fell in dum dooby dum whoa. Dooby dooby dum dooby dum whoa. Dooby dooby. Yes, thank you very much. Special thanks for the band. Thank you for the band.
Really rocking tonight, Dennis.
Yeah, that was our first record, and that record had a B-side to it. Another song that we wrote and we produced, and of course, like I always say in all our shows, most of the audience that comes out to see us, their kids or their grandkids have no idea what a B-side of a record is.
True.
They have no idea what a record is. You know, there's no more records, no more 8-tracks, no more CDs, no more. You can't even get a CD player in your car anymore, right? Yes, you can for $3,000.
Yeah, a little extra.
Anyway, this is a B-side of the record, and it's called I'll Always Love You. I'll always love you. There is no other girl for me. And darling, I know our love will grow till it's as endless as the sea. I'll always need you, your tender touch, your warm embrace. So come back, my dear, I want you near, 'cause no other girl can ever take your place. And why did we have to quarrel? Oh, how I miss you so. And although we are apart, I hope that you still know I'll always love you. I know no other girl will do. So forget the past and make our love last. And I'll always love you. I'll always love you. I'll always love you. The B-side. Thank you very much.
Right, that could have been an A-side, Jay.
Thanks for the band once again. This is another song that we wrote, another B-side. We wrote this in the middle 60s, and it was during the time of the Vietnam War. And I think if you listen to the lyrics to this song, it's called Please Ride. It's as apropos today as it was back in the middle 60s. And I'd like to, anybody out there who's watching or in here that are veterans or have families that were veterans, let's just, they may have some folks in their families that may be somewhere in the world, protecting the United States. Let's bring them all back safe and sound to the good old USA. This is called Please Ride. Please ride while you are away. I'm waiting for your letter each day. Please write, please write, please write, please write, and tell me you're alright. Well, that's all I'm asking of you, darling. Please write. I miss you so, my dear. When the lights are low, that's the time I know it's you that I adore. For now and evermore, darling, please say you will ride. Angels, oh angels, hear my plea. Speak my loved one back to me. Each minute of the day slowly ticks away, and what more can I say? Please write the words I long to hear. Till you come back home, this heart will never roam. Oh, darling, please write, darling, please write. Please write. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Pretty song.
Thank you. Thank
Pretty
you.
song.
Okay. Is anybody still interested in hearing the song about the lion?
The jungle song.
Yeah. One day I woke up and I heard about this new movie called The Lion King, and one of the most successful movies in the history of animated films. And our record, the song Lion Sleeps Tonight was in it. So the record was re-released again by RCA Victor, and it became a hit for the second time all over the world, and we then acquired a brand new audience of 5-year-old kids. This is the truth. When the record was a hit for the second time, my granddaughter was in kindergarten, and she told all the kids in her class, you know that record you hear about the lion on the radio? That my grandpa sings that song. Oh, sure, they said. She sings it in the shower, sings it in the garage. None of her classmates believed that her grandpa made this record. So anyway, she came home very upset, telling my daughter, none of the kids in my class believed that grandpa made that record. She was very, very upset. So anyway, she got together with my wife, and they got to have a meeting with the principal of the elementary school, telling how unhappy my granddaughter was. So one day, they arranged to bring me into her kindergarten class for show and tell. And then she was very, very popular after that. So anyway, that's a little story about the Lion Sleep Center. If you want to hear it again, we'll do it anyway. You want to hear it again? Yeah, you're not tired of it yet. All right. I'm going to sing it in the original key that I recorded it in when I was only 11 years old. Then nobody believes that either. Let me hear an F chord. Let me hear the whole band give me an F chord. That's much. So I have to, I do say a prayer that the notes come out, because if they don't come out, we're all out of a job.
We like this job.
Jay, I like this job.
He lied, but this is Dr. Dassa. He doesn't need this job, but he loves it. He's a surgeon. He's an orthopedic surgeon, and he happens to be an orthopedic sturgeon.
That's right.
He is.
I love my
Yes.
caviar,
Yes.
too. Let me tell
Anyway, let me hear that again, Ben. Come on, everybody sing. The jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. In the jungle, the quiet jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. Hey, hey, oh we mow it, 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 oh we mow it. Near the village, the peaceful village, the lion sleeps tonight. Near the village, the quiet village, the lion sleeps tonight. Hey, hey, oh we mow it, 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 oh we mow it. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight. Hush, my darling, don't fear, my darling, the lion sleeps tonight. Hey, hey, oh we mow it, 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 oh we mow it. The lion, thank you so much.
All right. How was that, huh? Oh, that great job, the tokens, Jay Siegel's tokens. I took a while to get them here, but it was well worth it. Anyway, they're up here now with me, so why don't we say hello? Let them say hello to you. We'll get into a little discussion. Hi, guys. Hey, hi. Anyway, we have to introduce Jay Siegel. Of course, he needs no introduction, but every once in a while we got to remind him who he is. Okay, so, Jay.
I remember you.
I remember you. Jay Siegel, ladies and gentlemen.
Hi.
The voice behind every mattress commercial.
Sleep.
Anyway,
And
start
diapers.
up- and what?
And the diaper commercial.
And the diaper commercial.
Diapers,
Yeah.
toothpaste,
That's it.
deodorants.
Oh my God. Anyway, get back there. Let's go. What do you got it back there, Gabe? Who, what, and where?
Gabe Dassa, I'm originally from the Bronx. Live in Bedford Corners, Westchester.
Okay. And you're with the guys now how long?
3 years. Made 3 years in April.
You've been on the show 3 or 4 times.
Yeah.
Actually, with your group, which I understand just won the contest.
Yeah, we won the Harmony Sweepstakes, the East Coast iteration of it.
I meant to ask you this question. It's a little personal. I mean, you don't have to answer it. But this contest was, I don't know how many, what do you think, a wild guess? How many people, how many contestants?
There was 7 groups.
7.
Yep.
Is that the one where they gave the prize, the cash prize?
No, that's California.
That's in California. I was hoping that's the one you won.
No.
But that's a $100,000 prize.
Yes.
this was 7 groups on the East Coast.
East Coast.
And they gave away, it's potato chips.
Not even that.
They gave away the Italian version of Utz. They got Gats. So he got Gats potato chips. He got. Anyway, give them up. Who we got here?
Well, Kurt, Frenchie Yadlin. I've been with Jay now almost 12 years.
Wow, 12 years.
You know, when the other guy who was on his front line, the great Jay Trainer, original lead singer of the Americans, transitioned. He asked me to be in the group, and it's been one of the best moves ever.
Absolutely.
It's been a thrill. I came from another world. You know, I mean, I was mainly in the.
I want to touch your world, believe it or not. No, really, I want to touch on your world. He's sitting here because he's generally, he keeps a lot of things under wrap, but he was with the original cast of Jesus Christ Superstar.
Broadway.
He also was with the original cast of Grease. So, he's got a pretty good background.
Well, no, it wasn't grease, it was hair.
I got greasy hair.
Greasy hair, that's greasy hair.
My greasy hair gets me confused,
Back in the day, yes indeed. Yeah, opened the original
I
Broadway show.
I try to stay away from hair words, I don't.
Yeah, me too.
Speaking of me too, introduce yourself to the guys and girls.
My name is Dennis DeBreezy. My father's family was from right here in Staten Island. I was born in Yonkers, New York. I'm the keyboard player and musical director for Jay now about 15 years.
Wow, 15 years. Wow. 15 years.
15, yeah, about that.
The secret with Dennis, Dennis's father went to New Hope High School with me. That's how far the roots go back with Dennis.
Oh, yeah.
And his father was, God Almighty, he was very well involved in the island. He drove a stock car in Wiseglass Stadium. That's how far back he goes. So Dennis has got some good Staten Island roots. Tell him a couple of things that you've produced, you and the original Tokens.
Well, after we had Tonight I Fell in Love was our first national hit, and then of course we had The Lion Sleeps Tonight, and after that record, we got approached by Capitol Records to become producers for Capitol Records, and we were given a 10 single deal. We had to make 10 single records for Capitol. We made 9 of them, and they didn't do anything at all. And the 10th record that we produced was a record called He's So Fine by the Chiffons.
That was a
We submitted the demo of He's So Fine to the president of Capitol Records, and he sent us back a letter that they passed on the record because, in his words, they thought it was too trite. I still have the album. I still have the letter, and we shopped it around to all the independent record companies in New York, and Laurie Records. They're the ones that said, "Don't let these kids out of the office. We want that record." And the promotion man for Laurie Records, his name was Doug Morris, who then became the chairman of Universal Music. He was the promotion man. He said, "That's a hit record." And Laurie put the record out, and it was our first #1 million selling record. And we went on to produce for the Chiffons, one of my favorite records that we ever did was One Fine Day. And we did Sweet Talking Guy, I Have a Boyfriend, a bunch of big hit records by the Chiffons. Then I remember we had a little office on 53rd Street in Broadway, and we would audition. Groups would come up, songwriters would come up. These 4 kids came up once from Paterson, New Jersey. They sang us a few songs. We said, "I think these kids really sound good. I think they could have a hit record." And they turned out to be the happenings, and the first record we made with them was See You in September. Big hit record. And then we did I Got Rhythm, which was another big hit record for the happenings. And we went on to produce Randy and the Rainbows, Denise, written by this kid, Neil Levinson, who had a crush on this girl, Denise Lefrak. Her father was Lefrak City.
Wow.
But they became so rich that they became Lefrak. When I met him, it was Lefrak, but then it was Lefrak. But he wrote that song for Denise Lefrak, and That became a big hit record. We were the band on that record. We played all the instruments. We played all the instruments on the Chiffons records, on some of the Happenings records. So we were singing in the backgrounds. We were playing the music. We were producing the record. We were in the studio, all the time.
And then you sang behind a couple of records,
We did, and we didn't tell anybody.
I know. I just told them now, and the IRS will be calling you in the morning.
Well, one of the biggest records guys that we got involved with was Tony Orlando, And in the beginning, we had produced this record called Candida, but not the one that you've ever heard. These two writers came up and brought us the song Candida, and we thought it was a great song. It was myself and the songwriter Tony Wine.
Oh, yeah.
And a jingle singer, her name was Robin Grion. And the lead singer was a guy named Frankie Paris, great rhythm and blues singer. And we finished the record, and we brought it to Bell Records. It was Larry Utah. And he said he loved the record. He thought it was a hit record, but he wasn't crazy about the lead vocal. And we were all friends with Tony Orlando, and he was working for the Columbia Records Publishing Company, April Blackwood, and he was a professional manager.
Yeah.
So he said, Tony, why don't you come in and put your voice on this record? It would be perfect for you. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm not a singer anymore. I got a great job with Columbia Records Publishing. I think, oh, come on, it'll take you a half hour. Come and put your vocal on, and we won't even tell anybody it's you. He came to the studio, and he learned the song, and we did it like verse by verse. And we would edit it, and we would do verse, stop. He'd learned the second verse, and we came up with the record Candida. We brought it to Bell Records, and he wouldn't want his name on the record because he was afraid he was going to lose his job. Yeah. So my daughter's middle name was Dawn. So why don't we'll call the group Dawn, And the record of Candida, and also Knock Three Times, there was no Dawn at that time. The Dawn was me and the two girls. We were Dawn. And then after Knock Three Times and Ty, became such a big hit, he approached these two girls that were the backup singers for Isaac Hayes.
Yep.
They were called Hot Butter and Soul.
Yes.
And he hired them, and then that's when the real Dawn was born. And Ty Yellow Ribbon, that was his career record.
Tony and I were doing the same thing. We were actually staff writers.
Yeah.
And we I think we get $150 a week.
Yeah, that's what you get,
and a little room this big, and they call you, here, sing this here, make a demo with this record.
Yeah.
We go down in the studio, we'd make the records. And he had, and I remember when Candida hit, he said, I don't want no part of the road. I don't want to do this. And then once Ty Yellow Ribbon, he said, the hell with that job,
Gave us TV show.
That's it.
All those publishing companies, there were a little room that had a table,
and a piano,
an ashtray, an upright piano, and a chair.
That's it.
And then you had Carole King and Jerry Goffin over here.
Yeah.
You had Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil over here. You had David Gates. You had
Paul Simon was there too. He had it. Yeah.
And all these writers were coming up with all these hit records.
Yeah. Like I said, if we have another 6 hours, he could probably give you some more of his accomplishments. I'm in awe of him every time. I know what he's accomplished, and he doesn't tell anybody. That's why I'm glad that we're saying it now to, I don't know how many scores of people are listening. He's very humble, and he just, as long as he goes to the bank, he don't care who knows it.
Thank you very much. No, we were involved. We were the first group that we formed our own record company.
Yeah, I know.
Because we wanted to, when we had Tonight I Fell in Love, we said, well, we could be a one-hit wonder. Yeah. We may never have another hit record again. Let's learn the business of production, publishing, how to start a record.
Big difference between being a Yiddish and being a Talena,
My mother used to say that.
Yeah. I had Jewish partners and things in the business, and they would tell me, stop thinking like a Talena, put your Yiddish cup on, will you? You should, use your Jewish brain. Stop thinking like an Italian. I wanted to be like, Al Martino and Dean Martin. I wanted to be a singer, but no, go where the money is. Follow the money. Were you in the Money building at one point?
No.
No? Okay.
We were in the Ed Sullivan Theater.
Yeah, I knew you were up around my office.
1697 Broadway.
That's it. It was around the corner from my 1650.
Right across the street from Roseland.
That's it. That's it.
Yeah.
Wow, Roseland. Oh my God. Yeah, right. That wasn't that a great place.
And then we got involved doing jingles, and
That was the other thing. Yeah.
that was very lucrative.
Oh,
we should have really been more involved in that.
That's more involved in this.
I remember doing the first jingle we ever did was for Gray Advertising, a big company, and it was for Dentine chewing gum. Do they still have Dentine chewing gum? I don't know. I don't know. Do
Not
they?
at this age. People don't have teeth.
People don't have teeth. So anyway, the music producer approached us because they knew that we were producing records. They want us to do a jingle about Dentine chewing gum, and this is his word, using the teenage lingo.
Oh yeah.
He wanted us to use the teenage lingo. Well, what was the teenage lingo? I don't know. Anyway, we did it, and it was a big, And then we went on to do Pan Am, United Airlines,
That I remember,
Eastern Airlines, fly number 1 to the sun. We did deodorant commercials. We did beer commercials. We did,
No, that's the key.
One year we had 30 radio and TV commercials.
Wow.
1 year.
Wow.
On radio and TV.
The commercials were really where the money was. I mean, more so than actual
Oh yeah, because
recording.
you're going to get played.
That's it. Right.
You're going to get played.
You don't have to pay anybody. No payola.
Well, my friend Kurt here, he was involved in the jingle. He did a lot of jingles as well.
Did you really?
I did. I actually did a big spot with Dion.
Really?
And he was convinced by, I think it was McCann Erickson, another big agency,
Yeah.
convinced Dion to let them use Wanderer for this new device they'd come out with, which was called Snake Lights. And it was the flashlight
Right.
that had the bendable neck that you could hang it from the,
right.
inside the hood of your car or in your closet.
remember
Snake lights from Black & Decker, they go around and round and round. And Dion sang the lead. I had never worked with Dion. For me, it was a big deal, flashlight or not. But no, I was fortunate to get to do a lot of jingle work. And as you were both saying, that was union work.
Oh, yeah.
That was SAG and AFTRA. For radio commercials, it was AFTRA. And for TV commercials, it was SAG. And that gave me a couple of my pensions today.
They just did a year and a half ago, Christmas time.
Little Star.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
They used it on Mount, what was the name of the hospital? Who? I can't hear you.
Maloney Hospital? No.
No,
that was a Joe Maloney.
No.
But I remember hearing that on.
Yeah, it was
a nice
for
gift.
Children's Hospital. They did a little star for Christmas. And then they did, Joe Malone, the perfume, which I never understood that. But she was on a train and she was a model and she got up and went in the back where there was a party going on. But who cares? I don't care what they use
The
it
latest
for.
one was the Walmart diaper commercial.
Oh, yeah.
I think it's still running, but
The diaper?
Then we had Sleep Number.
The diaper's still running?
The diaper's still running.
Oh, yeah. And, speaking of Dion, this is Dion's musical director.
Not his musical director.
Okay.
Al Carosi is his musical
Oh, yeah,
director.
okay.
I'm the keyboard player and tour manager.
Okay.
Yeah, been with him now 20 years.
Sorry, Al. I know I'm going to see him again.
Yeah, that's why I want to make sure I got that out.
I'm sure he's going to rub it in when he sees me now. Anyway, okay, well.
Yeah, 20 years now. I'm with Dion, yeah.
20 years, wow.
20 years.
And also with the Golden Boys.
I tour manage Golden Boys with Frankie Avalon, and Fabian, Been doing that now 7 years. Yeah.
We had Frankie here, not physically here, but we Zoomed him.
Right.
And I had a Zoom here on, about 5-6 months ago or more, a year ago. About a year ago, yeah. And he set it up in his house, but unfortunately, where they set it up, that wasn't too. It was cutting in and out. It was a little. Yeah, it was. That's why I don't like those kind of things. But he showed me a video of his yard. He had a yard, but it's like acres and acres of beautiful trees and everything. I said, Frank, I don't see one fig tree out there.
He needed all that room because he had 8 kids to run
Oh yeah,
around.
oh yeah. Matter of fact, I promised him a fig tree. I gotta go look for a fig tree. I forgot. Let me ask Al Carosi.
Frankie's a great guy.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. No, I got stories with Frankie when we were on the road. I mean, it's just stories.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've heard of you.
Yeah.
Working with Jay. I mean, the late 50s?
Yeah.
When you first met Jay?
Yeah, yeah. I wish that we would have been at least another year or two later, because it's when it really exploded, you know. And you know, we had like 3 radio stations and 4 TV stations, you know. And then when it exploded, it was all over the country, plus Europe. You know, I mean, there was nothing in Europe when we were singing. You couldn't go to Europe unless you had an army outfit on. You know, they sent you to Germany in a camp or something. But you know, but the time that we spent in the 50s was, I mean, I couldn't have been more on the bottom of that rung, which gave me the opportunity to meet people that later on became legends. I toured, ate, and drank with the Everly Brothers, with Buddy Holly, you know, for days and months and together, you know. And I tell the story about the last tour we did with Buddy when it broke up. Bobby Darin was with us, and Bobby went down south with a couple of the acts. We wound up going to California with Bobby Freeman that did Do You Want to Dance?
Yes, sure.
And he was over. I brought him over to my house one time. He ate the first time he ever ate a brajol. You know, he was like a little skeptical. You know, see that thing sitting in a dish. He don't know what the hell. What is this? You know. I said, don't worry about it. It's a long round chitlin.
There weren't that many opportunities. There weren't the theaters that we work in today.
Yeah.
You know, they had these clubs, the most famous one in Staten Island called Crescitos, that you were very happy to get out of there alive.
But that was in the 60s. I mean, when I did it in 58, and the tours, we were doing roller skating rinks, you know, and they were called sock hops.
Yeah, sock hops.
You know, and the promoter was there, and he came up with the check at the end of the night, gave you the check for X amount of dollars, and he would flip it over and say, okay, just endorse the back of this. The check came and went, you know, and it's a promotional thing, you know.
The TV shows were.
The TV, I still have a check from Dick Clark.
Paid, they used to give you the check, you sign the check, and you give it right back to them.
I got a check from Dick Clark. I still have it.
Yeah, he's one of them.
Oh yeah, Jesus.
American Bandstand.
Yeah, but this check he didn't take it. It was only for $1.90 or something like that. So you know, because they made a bookkeeping error, and they were $1 something short. So they sent me another check, and I didn't cash it. I kept it. I got it in a frame down in my music room as a reminder. But you know, Dick Clark. Oh my God. He live. The show was live. You know, and he asked me where I got the name The Elegance, and he put the microphone in my face, and he said, "So Vito, where did you come up with the name The Elegance?" And Dr. Pepper was the sponsor. Teenage audience, live, everything that could go wrong if I said anything wrong, and I said the truth, as innocent as I was. I was on my way to rehearsal. A friend of mine in Staten Island, across the street from Crescitos, was a place called the Club Trio, and in the window was a placard that said, Shenley, the Whiskey of Elegance. And it said ELEGANCE. I changed it to ANTS, brought it to rehearsal, and that was our name. So he says to me, so where did you get the name? I said, we got it off this whiskey poster, you know. That was it, yeah, right. So until the day he died, he used to tease me and laugh about that particular day. But, you know, I just told the truth. It was, you know, I wasn't trying to be funny or anything. But, you know, plus we were scared to death. I wasn't going to say anything out of line, you know.
You're still very elegant.
Oh yeah, I'm still very Shenley.
I remember the first time I heard your record. The very first time I was in the right out of high school, and I was in the Army Reserve, and we had our meetings in Fort Hamilton, and right off the Bell Parkway. And I remember driving to Fort Hamilton, and I heard your record come on the radio, and I said, that's like the best record I ever heard. I thought that was, especially the way you sang the bridge. You just had such a beautiful, the way you just turned the melody around. I said that record got to be number one. I love that. I remember the first time I heard it.
I listened to one day Dion has many times has said he made a living copying my style of singing. He was sitting next to me on a bus for months as I was writing my second record, and he flipped over that and run around Sue the Wanderer. They were all taken from my second record. So he said to me one day, he said, he says, I'm going to do an album, a CD, whatever. And one day I'm listening to his CD and I hear him do, it was called a Yo Frankie, that was the name of the CD. And he's got a song on there called Written on the Subway Wall. That's the name of this particular song. And it's going to the bridge, and I'm driving my car. I had no clue, I never heard it before. It's like God just said to me, listen now, because he's going to sing Little Star. And he'd used a sample of Little Star in the middle of that bridge. I'm stood there, it was, the hair stood up on the back of my neck. It was kind of weird that I would pick that out. And, yeah, and the only thing, unfortunately, he didn't use me or the group to do it. He used Paul Simon. And Paul Simon did all the voices on Little Star in the middle of that, Written on a, you should Google it, Written on the Subway Wall. You'll hear what I'm talking about. But that's, those days were incredible, and we're still friends. I mean, you spend a couple of months together of your life. You look at the overall length of your life. Why is that month or 2 months so important?
Yeah.
He calls me 9 o'clock in the morning sometimes, and we just talk and talk and talk. But this is 67, almost 70 years ago. So and things that we did and things that we said, I guess we were very impressed with, what we were doing at the time as a whole. Yeah. We lucked out. We signed, they would sign independent record companies. They would make the record, go out of business the next week. The money would be theirs, and the kids would walk away with nothing. It happened at Johnny Maestro. Never got a dime. I mean, we talk about this all the time. I said the only saving grace we had. We signed with an independent, and it was Hull Records. They had they had the Heartbeats, and like we said, the Pastels and those groups, the Monotones, Book of Love, but they were still an independent label. But they thought they had something bigger than they could handle when they heard Little Star. And they took the record and they sublet it to ABC Paramount, which was my saving grace, because now my checks came from ABC Paramount. And we were a major label at that point. And then we signed with United Artists after that, and we wound up with Don Costa, who was there. Don Costa was Sinatra, and Paul Anka. He was doing all the stuff for them. He did all the movies, the Magnificent Seven, all of those movies he did. Dwayne Eddy remained friends over the years. He just passed away a couple of years ago. But that twangy guitar, he did it. He did Peter Gunn. He did the Magnificent Seven. He did all of those, and so all of us, we were on United Artists. Don Costa called me in a room one day. He says, I've got something I want to ask you. He says, I have a song that I want you to sing. It's a movie that United Artists is going to do. It's with Kirk Douglas, and the movie is blah, 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 blah. So he said, but you have to leave the group. I just want you to do it as a single. I said, I can't do that. We started together. I can't do that. And I literally walked, and he said, are you sure? You positive? I said, absolutely, I can't do it. And he gave it to a young guy. He gave it to Gene Pitney. The song was Town Without Pity.
Town Without Pity.
Yeah. Wow. So, I still kick myself, and I still hate the other four guys because...
I have a similar situation. Yeah. When we did Candida, and they didn't like this Frankie Paris. They wanted to change the lead vocal, and they offered me the same. He offered me a record contract, but not the guys, just me. And I said, I can't do that. I just with these guys since high school, We
got a few minutes left here, so I guess any questions out there? Anybody have any questions for the guys?
Where did you get the name Token?
We never liked that name. We were given that name by a so-called manager or mismanager, mismanager. And because we didn't want to be known as the tokens that go on the bus or the subway. Oh no, it's like tokens of love. Tokens of affection, that's how we wanted to be depicted. Not tokens, with you we can go on the subway for free, No, we're tokens of love.
Wow. Yeah. Hey, ladies and gentlemen, I can't say, not only are they an excellent group, they are excellent people. They are some of my best friends in the business, and if we weren't in the business, they would still be my best friends on the corner. So I love them. I love each and every one of you, and you know that, guys.
I'm very lucky. I get to work with all of you.
There you go, Dan. Take care, friends. Oh, man, mine. Take care, Gabe. Take care,
I'll even stand up and I'll give you a
hug. Oh, yeah.
The best.
Thank you. We got Ciro's Pizza's in the green room. We got Country Donuts. Country Donuts is on Arthur Kill and Richmond, but they are also now, they've got another location on Huguenot Avenue. So, excellent donuts, as you could tell. Excellent donuts, So, are we winding it down now, ladies and gentlemen? That's it. Good night. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Safe home, everybody. Safe home.
Oh, good night, my love, until tomorrow then.